Hi, good evening. Happy Friday. I hope all is well. My name is Chantay. I am here with a week in review of my analysis on Friday, December 4th, 2020, the last first Friday of the year. 2020 has been one hell of a year, but I'm going to come to you with some stuff because we are still in the midst of COVID-19 and it's a challenge for us all. It's our new normal. They wasn't lying when they said this was the new normal, but here we are. So here it goes. According to the Johns Hopkins website, as of Friday, December 4th, 2020, global confirmed cases in 191 countries is 65,760,928, followed by the death toll at 1,515,990. And the U.S. The confirmed cases is 14,337,640. I know the last time I was here, it was at 13 million. Now it's at 14 million.3. The death toll is at 278,594. We're almost at the 300,000 mark, and we've been having 3,000 deaths per day here in the United States. So we still have the highest death toll. We still have the highest confirmed cases. There's other countries with high cases just like the U.S., but we have the most cases. So that's why I always say the U.S. first before I say the other countries, because that's the data. India, 9,571,559, followed by Brazil at 6,487,084. Russia, 2,382,012. France, 2,321,703. United Kingdom, 1,694,796. Spain, 1,684,647. Argentina, 454,000. Yeah, I was right. 631. Colombia, 1,352,607. Germany, 1,157,154. And Mexico, 1,144,643. Panama, 71,219. Dominican Republic, 146,680. Guatemala, 124,805. Kenya, 87,244. Nigeria, 68,267. Ghana, 52,209. Jamaica, 10,987. Haiti, 9,331. Bahamas, 7,565. Belize, 7,236. Trinidad and Tobago, 6,735. Guyana, 5,601. Barbados, 284. Antigua, 144. St. Vincent, 87. Dominica, 85. Grenada, 41. And St. Kitts, 22. So that is all on the Johns Hopkins website. So every country around the world is seeing high cases, especially in the West Indies, which I'm shocked because they reopen for business and they let people in, and this is what happens. So in the New York Times COVID map, you got Texas at 1.3 at 1,312,594. California is another 1.3, 1,300,769. Florida has been the third state to hit the million mark at 1,029,022. Illinois, 771,254. New York, 678,869. Georgia, 469,955. And they still not listening, and they still partying and shit. Ohio, 256,963. Wisconsin, 426,578. Michigan, 410,478. And Pennsylvania at 404,699. And no, we don't have a national strategy. Our leadership is absent. Our leadership don't care. He's still in his feelings that he lost this race. So he's spending his days playing golf on our dime, writing lists whoever to pardon on our dime. Let's see what else he's doing on our dime. Holding Thanksgiving and Christmas parties on our dime. And grifting the people, his supporters, to fund his next grifting idea because he know it's a wrap. It's a doobie, as we say in New York. Old school New York. So this motherfucker in the Oval Office, the Queen's sewer rat, because he is from Queens, is doing stuff on our dime, but not doing the job that the 30% of the people that voted for him want him to do, or voted for him to do. And 3,000 people per day is dying. Yet, the GOP came up with their bullshit ass relief. So here we go. So in their COVID relief bill, I list some things. I didn't list everything because it's 5 pages of stupidness. It's a liability. They have a liability limitations for COVID-related personal injury claims against businesses, medical malpractice. So basically, limitations means that if I'm a worker and I'm working at Target and I'm stocking and I have a cough and somebody else is not wearing a mask, it's no protections. They don't give a fuck. Well, hello to you too. Also, let's see. They're only going to extend 1 month of the pandemic unemployment assistance, PUA. That's what it's called. Only for 1 month. Because people are supposed to lose their their unemployment insurance. 13 million Americans will lose their unemployment insurance by the end of this month. And the GOP Senate wants to extend it to 1 month only. This pandemic is not over. Just because a vaccine is coming, the pandemic is not over. It is still here. If you study the influenza of 1918, that shit lasts for 2 years. This is worse than influenza. Influenza, only 50,000 people died. And that was only 2 years. This virus is not even a year yet. It's 9 months. And almost 300,000 people died. And over 14 million Americans are sick. And you want to extend that pandemic unemployment assistance for 1 month? Also, for the small businesses, they're going to extend the PPP loan program, and it's only required for people who has no more than 300 employees, includes set aside for loans for 10 employees and less for something else, but that's not even extended. And as for kids going to school, like childcare, it's only short term to help child care providers to reopen and stay safe. They didn't have a plan on how to reopen the schools like the HEROES Act that has a whole thing of reopening schools. And even Joe Biden's plan for reopening schools was more extensive. And it has over $30 billion just alone reopening schools during COVID. Not even specifying how they're going to provide PPE for these childcare providers. They want it so they have a thing where parents can go back to work. I forgot what the thing is called, but for parents to go back to work, and to have a safe place for their child while they're at work. It's not explaining how they're going to keep child care providers safe or how they're going to keep the kids safe. Because little kids been dying from Wasaki virus, which is a COVID-related symptoms. Also, this bill, it puts $31 billion onto the vaccine and therapeutics and diagnostics, but not as much money for the PPE. I read 5 pages of that shit. It doesn't have extensive plans on how to reopen safely, how to reopen the economy safely, how to give money to Americans, stimulus checks now, which Mitch McConnell refuses to because he's relying on the vaccine, which the vaccine's not going to cure the virus for the 18th millionth time right away. It takes drastic measures, wearing a mask, social distance. But this is how ignorant the GOP is. And I don't understand why the 55% will vote, not just only for Donald Trump, but will vote for the GOP. The GOP is not the GOP no more. The GOP has morphed more into white nationalism, which it always been infested in them over time during the 20th century, but it just bloom in your face. Or I should say, boom in your face. So the GOP will never recover. Trumpism is there. And QAnon. And Tea Party. There's no more conservatism. There's extremism on the right. And like I said, Tea Party and QAnon and Trumpism. And that includes white supremacy. And white nationalism. And fascism. There's no more globalism, moral values. That shit is done. So, to those giving hope to the GOP, I suggest that you form your own party, like a Whig party or something, or libertarians, which they get on my nerves too, or join them, whatever you want to do, because the GOP, gone. And also, just another news. So the Department of Education, Betsy DeVos, has extended the student loan payment, defer the student loan payments, the whatever it is, until January 31st. Well, it doesn't make no sense. She should be out of there, because they all gonna be out of there by January 20th. They all gonna be finished. They're going to be done. They're going to go back to their regular lives and be deplorable as they are. So that one might be extended to even further. She thinks she's doing something? Ain't doing shit. But okay. Next. So this week, the Georgia Senate runoffs. The last day to register, the last day to register is December 7th, 2020. For those who live in Georgia, I don't live in Georgia, I live in New York. And those who live in Georgia, or just moved to Georgia, whatever you're doing, if you're not registered to vote, please do. The Senate is just as important as the presidency. The Senate, the United States Senate, determines whether you get relief or not. Or if you're unemployed, whether you will still have your unemployment or not. So those who say, my vote don't count, your pocket is going to be hurting if you don't vote. Your health will be in jeopardy if you don't vote, because the ACA is on the table. Republicans have no repeal and replace plan. None. At all. Reverend Warnock and John Ossoff will be the deciding factors for the Biden and Harris administration. For those crying ass progressives, which I'm about to get in y'all asses next, your agenda, because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris they will have some type of legislative agenda for you. So you might want to, for those who live in Georgia, vote for John Ossoff and Reverend Warnock. And I like them. I like them both because they're actually people that actually give a damn about people. And they both native borns of Georgia, unlike Kelly Loeffler. And December 14th is early voting in Georgia. And then the actual Senate runoff race is January 5th. And Reverend Warnock and Kelly Loeffler will be debating. I think it airs on CNN, so Sunday, I'm not quite sure, or Saturday, but take a look at that. Now, in terms of the Biden and Harris cabinet, of course, black activists been screaming off the rooftops and saying how there's not enough black people in certain high-level secondary positions, which is true. But if these black activists, if you want black activists in those positions, don't praise the Attorney General part. There's other positions. There's Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Education, and Secretary of Defense, which black people never held those positions. I don't mind them being the AG, but we're more better than the AG. As much as I want to see a black person hold the Trump family accountable, I would like to see them in positions where they advocate for minimum wage raise, for wages, American wages to be higher, increased. Also to take action with our military to pull our troops out to end, these wars in the Middle East. I would like to see a black person in the education department, which our civil rights protections in the schools has been removed, and you need somebody of color to communicate that. So to the black activists, you may want to advocate for those positions besides the AG, because we're not just about the law, we're about policy. So word of advice to y'all. And lastly, so I did a special live on Wednesday about defund the police. But for those who missed it, I'll just read the definition to you. Defund. What it means to defund. It's a verb. To prevent from continuing to receive funds. Now, the definition of defund the police according to Google. Meaning reducing police department budgets and redistributing those funds towards essential social service that are often underfunded, such as often defunded, such as housing, education, employment, mental health services, and etc. So why am I saying this again? Because President Obama did a Snapchat interview about defund the police, and he stated why, the marketing was bad. Of course, these white folks in the purple and red districts were not going to vote for a Democrat. So that part he was wrong on. But everything else, President Obama was right on. When we want reform, it's not just all about the funding. It's about implementation. It's about reimagining how our law enforcement is. And the only person that explained the real meaning behind defund the police was then Senator, now VP-elect Kamala Harris. But no, the white leftists of whatever Democrat Party or Independent Party didn't listen. And when they were marching, I don't know if they were marching for reform or to get rid of law enforcement. So let's just make this clear. Black people want law enforcement. What we don't want is law enforcement to racially profile us, to put their hands on us, to shoot at us, and eventually kill us. So we don't want those four things. Right? We don't want to be harassed as well. That's what we don't want. It needs to be an equal relationship between the people and the police. It's a weekend review. The problem that I have with the white leftists of either the Independent Party or the Democrats is they claim that they're allies with black people. But when it's time to advocate for something like the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, they criticize the CBC, which is the Congressional Black Caucus, and the Democratic House leadership for wearing goddamn kente cloths that the CBC gave to them to wear in honor of black people that were killed mercilessly by law enforcement. So y'all spent your time, white leftists, including some black leftists that are cuckoo in the head or dumb as fuck, both to be exact. You criticize the CBC and the Democrat House leadership for wearing kente cloths, but you didn't praise them for introducing the Justice and Policing Act, which, by the way, then Senator, now VP-elect Kamala Harris was one of the framers for that bill, along with, I believe, Cory Booker and members of the CBC, which echoes all the rallying cries that the protesters were marching about. No knock warrants, ban on chokeholds, reforming the police, actually shifting funds to other social services, giving police departments a certain budget that is way less than what they're getting now, and other reforms inside the bill, which actually passed in the House that is sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. But no. You guys criticize them on Twitter all goddamn day long and on your funky ass little podcasts. So do I consider you guys as allies? No. And people may be offended, watching this, but I keep it real all day and every day. So when I see those quote unquote allies marching on the street with us, but when it comes to presenting a reform that actually echoes your rallying cry, you criticize that leadership or that group. How stupid are you? How dumb are you? And then you have all this smoke for the former president of the United States, who actually had a task force combating police brutality. If you were that serious about the movement to fund the police and reforming the police and reimagine and demilitarize the police, you wouldn't been criticizing Democrat House leadership and the Congressional Black Caucus. You wouldn't have all that smoke for them. But y'all do. So that's why I don't consider white leftists as my allies. So I'll just end that right there. But you have a good night. I'll see y'all next week.